I'm Jillian Angermeier, and the Town of Tabor Rec Board asked me to do a little cooking segment for you guys on how to make Nanaimo bars. Some of you might know me from working at Johnson's Drugstore, where I've worked for a very long time. I also volunteer with the Town of Tabor on their Land Development Appeal Board. So I'm not a cook, I'm not a chef. I've never actually made these before. But when Lace asked me, I just humored her and said yes, and then thought about the fact that I've never made these before after. So first you have to start with making a base. And the base consists of half a cup of butter and a quarter cup of sugar. And what you do is you get your saucepan ready and you need to melt it on lowerish heat. Lowerish. You can speed it up a little if you want to cook faster. That's what I've learned. Grab a little knife, scoopy thing, just to get this out of here. So you just put your butter in the saucepan. Half a cup of butter. And your sugar. Perfect. I also have 5 tablespoons of cocoa powder in my little dish here. So this can also get added in with those. Just floof it in there. Good. Okay. So now we've got to make sure that it's not going to burn. So we're just going to stir it nicely. Stirring it. I'm not sure if you guys can see this, how it's melting down or anything, but just stirring it to let it melt. It may take a few minutes. That's why I have it on higher heat. So you just get it all melted. And while it's sitting here, you can actually get the rest of everything else ready. So you'll need 1 egg. So I'll grab the egg from the fridge. Don't mind my messy fridge. 1 egg beaten with a tablespoon of vanilla. So I'm actually I have all of my measuring things right here because I'm a messy cook when I have to be cooking. So I'm just gonna put my egg in here, like that. And I'm actually gonna also add my teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of vanilla in my little shot glass guy here. Isn't he so cute? Okay, it kind of looks like a teaspoon. I'm not really like a measuring kind of person. I kind of eyeball it, which can be a little unsafe if you don't really know what you're doing. I'm gonna stir this a little. You can kind of hear it sizzling a little bit. That's okay because the butter is melting. Just make sure he's doing good in here. Perfect. I might just turn it down a little because maybe turning it up too much might not be good. So I'm going to take my little teaspoon of vanilla, add it with my egg. Isn't he cute? My brother-in-law is a Mountie, so that's why I got this to remind me of him. Although this Mountie doesn't look like he has hair. There, and then I'm going to beat it. Beat it good. Beating it. Just so that it kind of incorporates, because you're going to add this to your butter mixture, and you don't want scrambled eggs, so you have to add it really slowly to your base. There, I think that's good. The rest of it will just kind of melt as it goes. Okay, beating it. So if you want to come over here, and I'll show you how I add it to the mixture here. I'm actually going to take this stir out because I'm going to need to whisk it in. Or I can just remove it from the heat. Actually, I don't need the heat anymore. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your egg and vanilla, and because this is so hot, you should start stirring it first and then slowly adding it a little bit at a time, just so you don't get scrambled egg. We need like a theme song or something here. Okay, and as you're doing this, it kind of looks like it's getting thicker, which is great. Adding the egg, and I use a Mexican vanilla just because I find the flavor is really, really delicious, and you get more of a full flavor than you would just a regular extract or like an artificial vanilla. There, so I got that. I might need my little, no, maybe I won't need that. Okay, put the lid back on so I don't spill, because that probably will happen in my kitchen. So now you need 1.5 cups of graham cracker, just the crushed crumbs. Let's see if I can measure this properly. 1.5, where's my measuring? There we go. Shake her a little. Shake it. Okay, 1.5 cups. And this just goes directly into your base filling you did here. You can add chopped walnuts to this mixture, but I'm not going to because I have friends who have a daughter with severe walnut allergies, so I'm not going to do that. Just in case she comes over and she wants to try some, then it's kind of fair that she can try some and not have a reaction. So then you put in a cup of, I'll just throw that over there, shredded coconut. Come on, dude. Okay. I'll just throw that there too. Cup of shredded coconut goes in your mixture as well. And then you just kind of incorporate it. You stir it in there. Not sure if you can see that. This is probably not the best tool. Again, I'm not like a chef kind of person. I didn't even wash my hands like I was supposed to. I think I already failed if I was in home ec again. That's why I didn't do home ec class and I only did drama class, because drama class is working out here. I got 95% in drama class. Too hot of hands in home ec class, meaning on dish duty. So this is kind of fun. I'm like redeeming myself. I hope that none of my home ec teachers are watching, because I did tie my hair back like they tell me to. So you're just incorporating this. So then after this is pretty much all mixed, you can mix it in the pan as well. You're gonna dump it in your pan, just like that. And then the fun part happens. Okay, I will wash my hands because this will be gross. And because this recipe isn't a baked recipe, it can't bake off my germs. So I'm gonna use a little soap. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you have. I know, okay, Health Inspector Theron, that wasn't like how long you're supposed to do it, but it's for the magic of television. Okay, and then you're gonna go and you're gonna just push it into all the corners, down really nice. Just like that. So you're gonna push them all in, make sure that everything has been pressed in. You can't really see any severe cracks in there. Come on, there we go. So your crust is gonna look like this. And what you're gonna do after you've got it all pressed into all the corners, you can see on the sides there, is you're gonna refrigerate it for 20 minutes and then make the filling. So for the magic of television, watch this. Oh, don't watch that, that's fridge. By the magic of television, voila, our crust is ready. Oh, we've already made a mess of it. Whatever. Okay, so for your filling, you're gonna need 1/3 cup of butter. Where are you? Here. 1/3 cup of butter, soft. You can use, like if you have margarine or whatever, that will work fine. I just prefer to use real butter because I like the flavor of it. So you're gonna get 1/3 cup of butter, measure her out. Ooh, that was a little over the edge there. Does that look like 1/3 cup? Maybe just push down a little. Again, this is why I was put on dish duty in home ec class, because, you know, I just kind of like to kind of get the right measurements. It's not totally, but it looks fine. Looks fine. 1/3 cup, butter softened. Okay, and I'm gonna use my cute little dish. 1/3 cup. So the steps aren't that hard. It just takes a lot of time in between because you have to cool each layer for about 20 minutes per layer. Okay, 3 tablespoons. You can use custard powder or vanilla pudding powder. Oof, I almost got that on myself. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 3 tablespoons. I know it's like, oh, I guess I should level it. 1, 2, 3-ish. Okay. And then you need a 1/4 cup of milk. Oh, my milk's not up here either. Don't look in my fridge. 1/4 cup of milk. There we go. 1/4 cup. Let me see if I can see that. That I measured right. Okay, 1/4 cup of milk. Throw her in there. 3 cups of icing sugar. Okay, so maybe this is like the most delicious dessert you've ever heard of in your life. So the reason why they asked me to make Nanaimo bars for the Canada Day website for its town of Taber is because Nanaimo bars are a Canadian classic. And so what better way to celebrate Canada Day than a Canadian dessert? 3 cups. And Rogers sugar, which is also made in Taber. How handy. 3, oh, I think I just need all of that. Come on. 3 cups. Oh, ish. Okay, cool. So then you add that in. Oh, maybe my bowl isn't big enough. We might need to transfer bowls. There we go. Just throw everybody in this bowl. Perfect. Add everybody in there. Okay, and then we're just gonna mix him up as well. This doesn't take long to mix just because it is softened butter. Got it all. Okay, my mixery thing, whatever that's called. It's called cute is what it is, because it's a cute color. Okay, oh, get that out of the way. Mix you in. Oops. Just a little bit out, it's fine. Okay, just incorporating it. I don't know if you can see that. It's just kind of mixing all nice in there. Because it needs to be spreadable, because this is going to be your middle layer with all the deliciousness in there. I might add just a tiny bit more milk. Just a tiny bit. Please don't wreck it. Please don't wreck it. Because it needs to be a little bit more, getting all that on the bottom. Okay, that sounds better. Okay, mixing. Okay, and then what you do is then you take all of this, or how I would imagine you would do it, because I haven't actually really made these before, but I've seen my grandma make it. So another fun fact is that my grandma, Lorraine Rancier, was basically like a Nanaimo bar making queen. And so any family function, she would make Nanaimo bars. And when she passed away, guess who inherited her Nanaimo bar pan? Me. And I've never made them before. But the rule that Grandma always had was that you never, ever, ever put anything in that pan unless it's Nanaimo bars. You can't make brownies in that pan. It's only for Nanaimo bars. So basically, I should have some kind of like really cool genetic thing where I should also be really good at making Nanaimo bars, because if she's the queen of Nanaimo bars and I'm her granddaughter, obviously it's been passed down, obviously. There, I got my spreadery thing, which also my grandma would probably call it by its technical name, but I don't know its technical name. And what you do is you just kind of spread it around so you can fill all this crust area. See how nice it spreads? Oops, sorry, JP, my Mountie. Going across. Like I said, they're all really easy steps. They're just a bit more time consuming. It would probably take you a couple hours to get the full thing made. There. See how easy that spreads? You kind of have to make sure that everybody gets a bit of icing on their Nanaimo bar. There we go. Voila. I don't think I need that anymore. See, second layer. So far, so good. Haven't wrecked anything. It's a good thing it's not like an oven-ready kind of recipe. So I'll throw it in the fridge again for another 20 minutes. And here's the famous pan. This is the pan I inherited from my grandma. There's our filling on top. See how cute it is? I'm surprised she didn't have anything put on the bottom. that said, everything else that you put in my pan will burn if it's not Nanaimo bars. Okay, topping is super simple too. So all you need is a saucepan again. I'm wondering if I have to do a double boiler. We'll do a double boiler just because it'll be a little safer. So all you do is you put a little bit of water in the bottom. Because you're melting chocolate, put it down there. Just bring that water to a boil. I'm going to get a little this just to put on top. Just make sure that your water isn't touching the bottom of your little pan thingy there, mixing bowl. So all we need, this is super simple, 8 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. So I think it's every 4 pieces is an ounce, is what it tells me on the back. It sounded really smart, but it just says on the back of the box. Cheat sheet. See, told you I'm not a baker, but I can read. 4 pieces is 1 ounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I'm going to need both. Right? All you do is you just break them apart, stick them in, and then you just watch them melt down. That could take a bit too. It's just super cute, but there's like little girls on here, women things. Pioneers? Probably Canadians. Look at that Canadian, isn't she cute? She's a baker. I'm a baker. That's why I chose Baker's Cocoa. Okay, put her all in there. This process takes a little bit longer. And you also need 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay, for all of you who are going to say, how come you don't have a butter dish? It's because I forget all the time that I have a butter dish. So if this makes you squeamish, just turn away for a second because I'm going to just scoop right out of the butter. People like my coworker Ange, this would like drive her nuts. That's kind of like 1 tablespoonish, hey? This would drive her nuts. If I was to scoop out of here, she's like a pro baker though. 1. Look, Ange. This is gonna like, totally drive her crazy. Touching all the butter. But remember, I washed my hands. Okay, look, a tablespoon. Okay, and now we wait for it to melt. Super simple. Should we add like vanilla to it, or would that wreck my recipe? It doesn't tell me to, but I'm feeling like that's what my grandma would have done. Like if my grandma was to be here making Nanaimo bars, would she feel like sticking some vanilla in there? Like maybe Lorraine wants me to. Okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna put some more vanilla in my brother-in-law. Hey JP. Look at JP. Cute. Oh, this might be a little too much vanilla. Okay, we're just gonna put a little bit because I don't want to wreck this topping. Like just like a smidgen, like that's just a little bit. I'll just put JP right there. There he is, folks. And we need a stir thing. Like, do you whisk it? Do you like just stir it like a? Maybe I'll just do regular. Let's just not get crazy here and get all the dishes ready. Okay, so they're hot. They're starting to melt a little bit. I can turn it that way. So yeah, this takes it a little bit longer. There. It's good to have a cute kitchen at least. Melting it down. Okay, this might get a little awkward here because it's going to take a while. Should I just microwave it? Okay, I showed you how to actually use a double boiler. A good person would do here, teaching you. Maybe I'll just like let it do its thing here. Oh, Canada, home and native land. It's just taking a very long time. I give you some fun facts, but my homeschooling with my kids, we didn't learn a whole lot about like Canadian history at the moment. It was more like, what was it, like aerodynamics or whatever, something like that, and plants. So can't even like do trivia while I'm doing this. Oops. Oh, it's melting, it's getting there. Maybe I should just like let it sit for a sec instead of touching it all the time, because that might be the culprit. Should I just microwave it? Just take in a little bit. Would that wreck it? I don't know. The recipe tells me to do this. I'm just not a very patient person. That's the problem. Oh, it's melting. It's doing its thing. Look. It's melting. Oh, I don't want to cause a fire with my thingy here because it's a gas stove. Yeah, it's melting down. Takes a bit longer because this is the fancy way of melting your chocolate that I should have probably thought through a little bit. But whatever, this works. When I edit the video, I can just cut this part out maybe. No? It's getting there. Ooh, and another fun, there's a couple other little steps that you have to do as well. Once you pour the chocolate onto your Nanaimo bars, you need to score the chocolate, so just cut a little bit through it so that when it sets, it's going to be easier for you to cut than to try to cut through melted chocolate. Oh, there, now it's getting there. We're almost done. Once the chocolate gets hot, it kind of just melts itself. There we go. That's better. There we go. Okay. Oh dear, this is going to be really hot. Take it off my double boiler. Mix it a bit. I guess I need this thingy. Spreader thing. I think I have a small one. That's hot again. Okay, so I'm just going to stir it because there's a few little chunks in there that are. There we go. Okay, so then you just take it and the same thing. You kind of just pour it. Make sure you get all the chocolate because that's like the best part here. There we go. Chocolate. Okay, there. Oh, there's a glob there. Okay, again, not a baker. And then you just spread it on, making sure every spot gets a good amount of chocolate. See? And if this is like the pan that you're only supposed to put Nanaimo bars in, I feel like this is gonna work. And Grandma would be so proud. Make sure that it's all even. You just kind of do a skim coat across. Making her pan like super messy. But all she would say is, at least I tried, right? The grandma of mine. Look at it. Super fancy. Some chocolate. Oop, oops, in the corner. Some in that corner. There we go. Okay, and then what you would do is, I would probably refrigerate it for like 10 minutes and then take it out, score the top into little squares, and then put it back in for another 10 minutes to let the chocolate set. You would then cut it up and you would serve it, and you would have your very own Canadian dessert for Canada Day. So I hope you enjoyed my little segment on baking. I'm going to put the full recipe on my Instagram, so here's my handle there. I will put this baking segment on there as well again, and you can follow along if there's any steps you missed or if you have any other questions. I can't guarantee that it will turn out well because you don't have the queen of all Nanaimo bars baking pan, but I'm sure it will work. It's a really easy recipe, And thanks for watching. Happy Canada Day!